Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about the differences of prices between the United States and Albania. So in this case, I will be using the US dollar for most of this. It's kind of hard on my brain. We left Thailand, I was thinking in baht. Move here, we're thinking in lek. And a lot of the prices on a lot that I'm going to talk about here in Albania is usually given in euros. So we're going to try to make this easy and make everything in the US dollar. First thing I want to talk about is the price differences between real estate here in Albania versus the United States. For instance, let's just talk about renting something. Because if you're watching this video, more than likely you're wanting to move here to Albania and buying something, maybe you want to try before you buy. So let's talk about renting. If you wanted to rent something here in Albania, and again, this is going to fluctuate a little bit depending on what part of Albania you're living in. The costs are going to differ a little bit, but for example, I am in Vlora, which is here by the sea, and you could get an apartment, let's just say the 5th floor, overlooking the sea in a beautiful part, 2 bedrooms, 2 bath, for around $500 US a month. You can get a little bit less than that. You can get a little bit more than that. Say you want a studio apartment, just 1 room. It's going to be less than that, depending on where you're at. However, my point is the housing prices are a lot less here in Albania. If you're someone looking to move here to reduce your monthly cost, this video is for you. And yes, you could definitely get lower housing prices here in Albania. And I will say, if you want to go online and try to research this, it's going to be very difficult. Most of Albania doesn't really use websites to promote their prices. You may find some things on the internet. It's a lot easier to do once you're here. You can go into a real estate office. You can find out what they're listing for. But I will say the communication outside of the country, emailing a lot of the realtors is very difficult. But just for this video's purposes, I want to let you know that the housing prices here are a lot less than what they are in the United States. So one of the nice things about relocating here to Albania is there's not death by your monthly bills. I know that my wife and I living in the United States, our monthly budget was astronomical compared to what we pay a month living here in Albania. So if you're somebody, let's say, who's retired and you're looking to find a place to move, that's beautiful. That has access to all the other European countries. It's out of the Schengen zone. It's not part of the European Union. This may be the place for you, and it would allow you to have your retirement dollar go further. And no, you don't have to move here in complete isolation. There are plenty of expats everywhere. You can go onto Facebook and find many groups of expats living in Albania. Now we're going to talk about things like health care here. It's always a concern for everyone. I would say if you're have a good insurance policy back in the United States, and this is a huge concern, then just keep your current policy. However, if you're going to move here, you can get a policy here. I've talked about this on other videos. And again, it's going to be, the prices are going to vary whether you have preconditions, pre-existing conditions, and your age, things like that. However, the prices for things here are a lot lower. So you can still get coverage here in Albania, and you may be saying, yeah, but what about the quality of health care in Albania? Well, if you think it would be better elsewhere, which, they got more equipment and better things in other countries, make sure that the insurance policy you buy here in Albania covers you for other countries. Most of the big policies that my wife and I looked at excluded, I think it was 3 countries. It was the United States, it was Japan, and I believe it was Canada. Don't quote me on that one, but I think it excluded that. But if something happened to us, we could go to Italy, right across the sea. It's really a close distance from here, or Greece, or somewhere like that. So healthcare is doable at an affordable cost. And if you're just going in for some outpatient procedure, it's extremely low. Now, I don't know what's going on in the US right now, but the people who come to visit here in Albania tell me about the food cost in the United States. Well, I guess it would be a lot cheaper here. It would be astronomically cheaper compared to the prices I've been hearing about back in the US. So your grocery bills should be substantially less. If you eat healthy, they got plenty of healthy food here. You're not going to get all the GMOs and all the other garbage that you're going to find in the US over here. Most of the people who move here that I've talked to that came from the United States feel healthier here, and some of them even lose a lot of weight here. I have a feeling it's the quality of food that you can get here. It's more of what it doesn't contain versus what it does contain. Pretty much everything over here, for the most part, is natural. At least it's a lot more natural than it is in the United States. And let's say your car in the United States is driving you crazy because you've got your expensive car insurance, you've got your car payments, all that jazz that goes along with owning a car. Maybe where you move here in Albania, the way the cities are, some of them, especially the one I live in, Vlora, maybe Tirana, you can walk to most everything or take public transportation. So you can just flush those bills down the toilet, meaning things like a car with car insurance, things like that. Just get rid of them. Move to a place where you can actually get around easily without having to have a car. And if a slower pace of living is something that you are longing for, that's all going to depend where you live here in Albania. If you want a higher pace of living, just make sure you live in the middle of the city. You will get exactly that. However, there are beautiful places to live on the outskirts of bigger cities that you will be in total seclusion, have a wonderful time. The prices will be lower. So whether you want to be an introvert or an extrovert here, it should be the best for both worlds. Now, some of you may want to come to Albania and think about, well, I'd love to start a business, but I'm sure that would be horrific with all the paperwork and all the things that bureaucracy you would have to go through in Albania. But I'm here to tell you, since I did start a business, I even have another YouTube channel for my coffee business, link in the description below. It is quite easy to start a business here. Now, I'm not going to tell you what kind of business to start. However, you can come here and try to scope it out and figure out what would work best for you, because depending on where you're at, the price for a commercial real estate property may be extremely affordable, something you could actually do where in your home state in the United States, let's say for instance, it would be almost unheard of to start the business you want to start in the United States because of startup costs or regulations or the bureaucracy or whatever. Things are a lot easier here. So definitely look into this. Now, since I do have a coffee shop, I'm going to bring this point up. A lot of expats come here, a lot of the United States ones say, it's so much easier to meet other people. For instance, we get a lot of people coming into our coffee shop, and within minutes, everybody is talking to everybody else and they know who they are. The next day they come in, they kind of reference it sort of to Cheers, and they say, you know, these are things we can't do in the United States. We'd go into a big major chain in the United States and everyone pretty much keeps to themselves. They are on their phone, they drink their coffee or they get it to go, and there's just not that interaction. It's a little bit different when you live overseas. When you hear another American talk or another European from somewhere else, the conversations start. Where are you from? Oh, I'm from England. Oh, I'm from Texas. You know, wherever they're from, conversations start. You get to meet a bunch of people. It's really cool. It's something that you normally don't see back home in the United States. So meeting new people, if that's what you want to do, is very doable. So there's a lot of good reasons to consider moving to another country. And I'm going to be the first to tell you, a lot of people go in the comments and saying, all right, Tony, for real, is it really that great over there? Should I move over there? Look, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to be the one to tell you. This place is for some people and it's not for other people. I don't know you. I would suggest that you come over here for at least a month and check a few places out. Every city's a little bit different here in Albania. I've had people come here and not want to stay, met people. Other people come here and go, you know, I'm looking at a lot of different countries, but I think this one may be the one. Could be you, it may not be you. However, I'm going to blanket statement and say this country is not for everyone. Just keep that in mind. I've had customers come in here and they're just looking for a slice of the United States. I miss this, I miss this, I miss this, I just want this. And they're not embracing the new culture that they're in. They're not adapting, they're not overcoming anything. Basically, you could tell instantly they want to move back home and they're miserable. So just keep that in mind. It's not for everyone. Well, that's all I have for you right now. We do have a step-by-step guide for moving here to Albania. There's a link in the Buy Me a Coffee description down below. See the link, click on it, and there's a place at the top that says extras. You could go on there. I have the step-by-step guide to moving here for a lot of information. It'll answer a lot of your questions. And we do have a place if you did want to do a one-on-one video chat where you can schedule it with me and we could talk one-on-one about your particular situation, and maybe it will save you from making the wrong decision for you or reiterate why you should move here. But that's all I have for you. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. And until next time, I'm going to end this by saying thank you in Albanian, which is Fala Mendere.